Hey everybody, welcome to episode 6 of Fitness and Money, Maximizing Your Health and Wealth. You might notice a couple of things. Last episode, I went 30 minutes again. Got to find a way to stop doing that. Too long. Again, trying to get these things to 15 to 20 minutes. Just have a lot rolling around up here, and I got to figure a way to get it out quicker. The other thing is, I'm wearing blue today because I'm hoping that at some point everyone realizes that there will be bluer skies ahead for our investments. Things are not good right now. Like I said, we've got inflation, we've got a war going on with Ukraine, we've got oil prices, there's just a number of things. We got the Fed raising interest rates. So there's just a number of headwinds to our investments right now. Hopefully are all dollar costs averaging into your investments so that you can be scooping up all of these mutual funds and stocks and whatever you invest in at very low prices so that when they do rebound, and they will rebound, you will have accumulated more shares of either the company or the mutual fund. So I want to be encouraging today in the face of what seems to be down days pretty much all the time for the market. Okay, last week we did our second exercise, which was flat dumbbell bench presses and the advantages that those have over barbell presses. And again, that main advantage is probably range of motion. The way I was positioned last week with the bench, you might know the bench is a little different. The way I was positioned last week, I'm not sure that everybody got the gist of exactly the way that I want it done. So I'm going to try to just follow me through on this, picture me with dumbbells. So with a barbell, you can only come down to your chest. If you're laying on a bench and and that bar hits your chest, that's as far as you're going to go. If you're using dumbbells, on the other hand, you can come back much further with those dumbbells because there's no restriction here. And you press them back up, shoulder width, and you press them back up, again, shoulder width. We don't want to do this. We want to do this. The reason we don't want to do this is because that kind of simulates the way that a fly is, and I just don't think it's the right way to do it. So apologize for the poor positioning last week with the bench. This week, maybe a little better. Again, this is all a work in progress. So, and that's the nice thing that I like about it is, I'm not in a gym, there's not this big, huge, guy that's screaming at you and his veins are popping out all over the place and you're saying to yourself, how do you get that big? And you're not listening to either an audio or a video podcast with someone sitting behind a desk who's speaking to you in Greek because you don't understand half of what he's saying from a financial standpoint. I've listened to enough podcasts, watched enough videos that, and this is not a slam on any one individual, but there's individuals out there that talk very fast. There's individuals who talk very sternly. There's individuals who don't put much inflection in their voice. And I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means because I'm not, but I'm just trying to get it out there so that nobody feels intimidated or uncomfortable by whether it's the fitness portion or the finance portion. Again, and that goes for everything around me here too. It's not really the setting, so to speak. It's really more the content, and that you're taking in the content of both the fitness portion and the financial portion. Okay, we're going to finish up chest. And as I said before, we did flies the first week. We did flat dumbbell bench presses last week. This time we're going to do close grip dumbbell presses. Close grip dumbbell presses, our hands are going to be positioned differently. We're going to be pressing in a different way, and just that motion is going to switch the emphasis on where it hits your chest, and it's also going to, this particular exercise is going to prepare us for triceps, which we're going to start next go around, next episode. Now, like I pointed out with back, and I'm going to point out with chest as well, there's 3 different portions, basic portions to your chest. You have the outside portion, you have this portion, and you have the inner portion here. So if you want to think of it as inner chest, the bulk of your chest here, and then there's an outer portion where your shoulders tie into your chest. The flies that we did, the dumbbell flies that we did, I find that they do a great benefit right here in this particular portion. The dumbbell bench presses, more traditional, they hit the overall chest, but I'm finding that they probably do really well right here. The ones that I'm going to show you today, they're probably good for this, the ridge of your inside of your chest, as well as your triceps, just because of the movement. Your tricep does get a good amount of activity in this. So with further ado, I'm going to grab the dumbbells the same way that I did last time, not trying to reach and do this or that. I'm going to grab the dumbbells and show you exactly the way that these should be done. I'm not going to show you how they shouldn't be done. I don't want you arching your back. That's the one main thing, is I don't want you arching your back. Okay? Okay, so we're going to start here again, and we're going to, this time, we're going to come down straight, and we're going to push back up. And we're going to come down straight, and we're going to push back up. We're not doing any of this. We're not doing any of this. We're coming down straight, and we're pushing back up. So the one thing that you want to remember when you're doing this is, I would say, try to keep your arms as close to your sides as possible. The closer your arms are to the sides, like this, the more that you're going to work the inner portions of your chest as well as your tricep. So that one, like I said, that exercise is going to try to carve this out, and because you're pushing like this, instead of like this or like this, because you're pushing like this on the bench, you're going to involve a lot of your tricep muscle. So that's a good thing, because when we get into actually doing the workout, we'll do triceps right after chest, which is again called the pull system, so to speak. And the triceps are already going to be warmed up from doing chest, so we're just going to further warm them up once we get into the triceps. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about regular traditional 401ks and IRAs versus Roth. So I know we touched on this before, but I want to make it perfectly clear that everybody understands. When we're talking about traditional 401ks or IRAs, we're talking about money that comes off of your gross income. So if you have $100 taken out every pay period, that's coming off of whatever your gross income is. When you choose to have that money put into a Roth 401k or a Roth IRA as opposed to traditional, that money comes out of your net pay. Obviously, your gross pay is larger than your net pay, so more money per pay period is going to be going into your investment account if you do the traditional 401k or traditional IRA. That money is called deferred. And again, Roth money is coming off of your net, not your gross. So there's going to be less money going in per pay period because it's going to be a percentage. You could pick a fixed amount, but usually it's a percentage. So there's going to be less money. So, people might say, well, gee, why wouldn't I want to have more money going in to compound year after year after year? That's got to be a huge difference over X number of years. That's true. Having more money compounding will result in a larger amount, but here's the rub. You might remember this from previous episodes. The rub is that Uncle Sam is going to get their money one way or the other. People call traditional IRAs and 401ks deferred. I like to call it delayed, because once you reach the age where you can take that money out of that traditional 401k and IRA, which is 59 and a half, if you want $1,000, you call up your brokerage firm or whomever you have your money with, and you say, I want $1,000, you're going to have to, there's going to be a little box down there that's going to say, how much tax do you want withheld from that money? You have to choose the appropriate amount of tax that you need withheld, and that's something you need to talk about with your accountant. So you won't get that full $1,000. You're going to get something less than that $1,000 because the government's view is, I let that money go untaxed for decades. Now I want that money repaid to me in tax money. The other thing about traditional 401ks and IRAs is once you reach the age of 72 and a half, there's something called RMDs, required minimum withdrawals. Wait a minute. Required minimum distributions. They are withdrawals, trust me. RMDs is something that the government, again, says, hey, when you get to this age, 72 and a half, we're going to make you start taking out a certain percentage of your portfolio balance, whether you want to or not. So that, depending on your balance, could kick you into a different tax bracket. Say you didn't need the money or you didn't want the money, they're going to make you take the money one way or the other. So those are the two main drawbacks of the traditional 401k and IRA. Yes, it does allow you to accumulate probably a bigger balance by the time you reach 59 and a half. But oh, by the way, taxes are going to be required on that balance. Roth, on the other hand, again, you're starting out with net. So you're going to have less money. Think of it as a snowball. You got a snowball rolling down a hill. The deferred money, because it wasn't taxed, that snowball is going to be a little bigger than the Roth IRA or Roth 401k money. That's going to be a little bit smaller. And the reason, again, is because less money is going to be available because it's coming out of your net pay and not your gross. Now, the big advantage to Roth is pretty much the opposite of the negatives for the traditional. Yes, you might have a smaller balance when you get to 59 and a half. But when you make that phone call and you say, I need $1,000, could you wire that to my bank? They're going to wire you $1,000. There's going to be no taxes taken out, no tax liability. You already paid taxes on that money when you put it in. That's a big difference. You paid taxes on the Roth money when you put it in. You didn't pay taxes on the traditional 401k and IRA money when you put it in, because it came right off of the top of your gross before any taxes were taken out. So that's the big difference. The other difference is, big difference is, once you get to 72 and a half, if you're lucky to live that long, there are going to be no required minimum distributions. So the government's not going to come to you and they're not going to say, hey, whether you want to take out, this money or not, you have to take out this percentage. They're not going to say that. That's because, again, all the money that was put in was already taxed all along the way. They have their money. They're not going to ask for it again at the end of the road. So there's pluses and minuses, for sure. That's something that each individual has to weigh. Next week, I'm going to give you my opinion on which is better, and that answer might change depending on where a family or a person is along the way in their life, because now you have to start taking in tax considerations, every year that you're working, what it's going to do for your taxes, what it's not going to do for your taxes, how it might help in some instances, how it might not help in other instances. So it's going to be like everything in life. It's going to be a trade-off pretty much. I did say, all right, so that's the end of the financial portion. Really quickly, I did tell you that I was going to come down with a shake. So I have my shake. I drink one of these every day. I either drink it in the morning, I drink it in the afternoon. I try to drink it in the morning, quite honestly, when I get up. That's just the way I like to do it. You can drink it whenever you want during the day. So what's in this shake and what benefit does it bring? Well, there's ice cubes. So let's put that aside. Obviously, you have to put ice in. Then you would put some type of milk or milk product. And when I say that, you can use whole milk, you can use 2%, 1%, skim, you can use almond milk, you can use cashew milk, you can use coconut milk, you can use whatever you want, quite honestly. If you're somebody who's trying to slim down and get a little bit more fit, you might want to opt away from the whole milk and more toward one of the other options that maybe has 25 calories and no fat per cup or whatever. And I don't measure. I usually put in, it probably ends up being a cup or a little bit more than a cup of whatever milk product you choose. Then I put in some type of a fruit. I like blueberries, hence the color. Blueberries are one of the best fruits. They are high in what's called antioxidants. We'll get into that next week. Antioxidants, what they are, why they're beneficial, and how they help your body. Then I put in, and again, all for specific reasons, I put in 100% dark cacao, a scoop of it. I usually just use the Hershey's. It's a little scoop up this big. I take a scoop and I put it in. Dark chocolate also has been proven to be good for you. It's high in antioxidants again, and putting that scoop in just makes the drink more nutritious. Then I put in a little pinch, and again, I shake it a couple times, a little pinch of cinnamon. Cinnamon is a great spice, especially for those people that are trying to control their blood sugar. Blood sugar and diabetes is a huge problem in the United States. I don't have diabetes. I surely don't want to get it. So cinnamon, anecdotally, and there are some studies out there show that if taken on a consistent basis can help keep your blood sugar in a normal range. The next thing that I put in, which you don't have to put in, but again, it depends on whether there might be some of you out there watching that want to gain weight. There might be some of you that want to get more protein into this shake. And again, there might be some of you that are like, I need to lose weight. I don't need those extra calories. So I put in usually about a tablespoon of peanut butter. You don't have to put the peanut butter in. You could put another type of fruit in. You could put a half a banana in. You can put, it's kind of limitless what you can put in a shake. My wife puts in turmeric. That's very good for you. If you put a lot in, you can definitely taste it in the drink. So, we might, as we get on, we'll come up with different concoctions, but this is the one that I personally like. I'm probably in a position where I want to lose, maybe 7, 8 pounds. So, I go with, again, the ice, the blueberries, the 100% cacao powder, a couple pinches of cinnamon, tablespoon of peanut butter, and I forgot a main ingredient. It's usually added right down here. I put in yogurt. And again, yogurt, peanut butter, and not so much blueberries, but the yogurt and the peanut butter certainly will put your protein content up there. That's good. There's all different kinds of yogurt. You can get full fat yogurt. You can get, what's essentially skim yogurt. Whatever your goal is, buy yogurt that is appropriate. If you don't like yogurt, they have flavored yogurts. If you don't like yogurt at all, and you will not have that in your drink, you don't have to do that. What you could substitute in there is go out and buy some protein powder. Next week, I'm going to show you the protein powder that I use, and I take it every day. I actually should have put it in here, and I didn't, because I usually put protein powder in there. And protein powders can range all over the place in terms of price and quality. So I'm going to show you the one after going through lots of protein powders, the one that I use that's pretty clean, so to speak, doesn't have a lot of those big words that nobody can even pronounce, like sucrose. Sucrose is an artificial sweetener. What is that big one? It's got red dye number 5, maltodextrin. That's what it is, maltodextrin. Anything that's artificial, we would rather not have in the shake. So we're going to try to keep it as clean as possible. Okay, that's a wrap on episode number 6. We finished off back. We finished off chest. We're progressing with talking about finances. I hope you're getting something out of this. Certainly, you're going to be able to comment things that you want, more things you want to hear about, or things that you think could be done differently. For now, please, if you want to, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Next episode, episode 7, we're going to be starting on triceps, and that's another muscle that it's important. It's important for function, and it's important for a lot of daily activities, and we want that muscle as fit and strong as it can be. So that's a wrap. Hope to see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day.